Okay, vamos a continuar con parte 2. So let's go ahead and continue with part 2. Here again, we'll talk about the evaluation criteria and breakdown. We already went over the different percentages. And so you can see again that the online text assignments, which is, there's video assignments, there's a student activities manual assignments, that's 20%. There's your student engagement, participation, and responsibility is 10%. There's online oral dialogues, which is 20%. There are section quizzes, 20%. There are language and cultural contact presentations that are 15%. And we do not have written exams, but we do have a midterm and a final oral exam. Okay, our grading scale is a plus minus. And so a 97 and above is an A+. Now anything that is 0.5 and above, I do round up. But there has to be a cutoff somewhere, so anything that's 0.4 and below gets rounded down. Okay, so a 93 to a 96.4 is an A. A 90 to a 92.4 is an A-, etc. Okay. Now keep in mind, there is no extra credit. You have plenty of work to do without having extra work given to you. And this is a very shortened course. This is only 7.5 weeks. So there's a lot to do in that time. Now online text assignments, as I mentioned about the activities, these are done via My Spanish Lab, and all of these activities will be due on Sunday nights at 11:59 p.m. Okay, and so starting right off on August 21st, there will be some assignments due by 11:59 p.m. Okay, and then 7 days later would be August 28th. All of those will be due. Okay, and there is no late work accepted. Okay, so if something comes up, please let me know as soon as possible. Now throughout the semester, you will be responsible for engaging in the course with other students and as well as myself via different activities. Your respectful, proactive, and timely engagement, participation, and interaction in online oral dialogues, comments on the language and cultural contact presentations, responses to feedback given, emails to the instructor, this all counts towards your grade in this category. So you definitely want to make sure that you review the section on the syllabus called A Note on Emails. Okay, and it's found on pages 4 and 5, so it'll be after this. Okay. Your online oral dialogues. I apologize, it says during the 4 weeks out of the 6 weeks. Okay. It actually is during 5 weeks out of the 7 weeks. Okay, in the course, you're going to be working with a classmate to prepare and present an oral dialogue. Okay, you'll be given the dialogue topic at the beginning of the designated week. You will have that week to practice with your partner. And these dialogues can be recorded using Google Hangouts, uploaded into YouTube, and that YouTube link should be turned in on the appropriate Wednesdays and Sundays of that week. There are a couple weeks in which there will be 2 dialogues due. Towards the end of the semester, there'll be a couple of weeks where just 1 dialogue is due. When there's 2 dialogues due, one will be due on a Wednesday, the other on Sunday. If there's just 1 dialogue, they will be on Sundays. Okay, and it says by midnight, 11:59 p.m. is that cutoff. Okay. Now, while you can practice with your partner on the dialogue, the recorded dialogue that you're going to submit for a grade should not be read, should not be memorized word for word, or points will be deducted. You want to try to do it as impromptu as possible to really show what you've been learning. Okay. The dialogues will be graded on fluency, vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar, and content. So please refer to the corresponding rubric for details. Okay, section quizzes. Each week, students will complete a vocabulary and/or grammar quiz. Some weeks have more than 1 quiz. Quizzes will serve as a quick review of the main points covered in current and previous sections. And they will either be online in my Spanish lab or in Blackboard. Okay? And I reserve the right to quiz the class at any point during the semester. Now, quizzes will be due just like the other assignments on Sundays by 11:59 p.m. However, as everything is typically due on Sundays, you will need to learn how to pace yourself so that you are not trying to save everything until Sunday morning. You will not learn that way. You need to do a little bit each day. Okay? I would plan on spending, an hour each day on this course at least. Okay, now language and cultural contact presentations. We have found that many students need more opportunities to practice their Spanish and observe Hispanic cultural nuances outside of course assignments. So therefore, each week you're going to be required to complete 2 hours of Spanish language and cultural contact. Okay, this can be done by watching Spanish television, listening to Spanish radio, reading either online or print materials. It could also be conversation. Now, you must log the time spent on the activity and provide a description of what you did. The contact hours must total at least 4 hours for each presentation. Okay? Now, these assignments are turned in approximately every 2 weeks. You'll see Blackboard for specific dates. And these are turned in as a PowerPoint presentation with a voiceover. Now you can use Google Hangouts on Air or another similar tool for this presentation. Your presentation will include a summary of the activities used for contact hours. This is how you're helping log them into me. New vocabulary that you learned and cultural practices or nuances observed. How do they compare and contrast with similar practices within your own culture? This oral presentation should be approximately 5 minutes long in English. So if you think you can create 5 slides, do want to talk about 1 minute for each slide, and you'll be done. Okay, now midterm and oral exams. Okay. The student instructor interviews will be administered at the middle and the end of the semester to assess oral proficiency. Students will sign up for a time to virtually meet with myself, and I will have 2 days ready in which I'll have certain hours available, and they actually will be on a Thursday and a Friday. Okay? So you will sign up via my Google Calendar that will be provided in Blackboard for a certain date and time. Okay? Now, I will also choose during this oral interview a topic from one of the ones that you covered up until that point in the semester. Now, this is where, paying attention to your dialogues comes into play, because I will choose one of those dialogues that you did between the beginning class and midterm for you and I to act out. And I will do the same thing from midterm to final. Okay. Okay. A note on emails. Okay. Again, a reminder that I do reserve the right not to answer emails during the weekend, so please do not try to write me on Saturday asking me a question about the homework that's due Sunday night. Okay. Try to prepare ahead of time. You must email me at least twice during the semester to clarify any questions or concerns. Okay? And make sure you save all of those emails just in case something happens and to my email system and they're lost, you will have them to resend. Okay? Emails are going to count for part of your student engagement, participation, and responsibility points. And all emails that you write, you want to try to do it in Spanish to the best of your ability. Okay, so try it in Spanish. If you feel that I may not understand, then you can provide an English version of your message under the Spanish text. But you definitely want to follow this format during your email. So you would start off with Estimada Profesora Peterson, okay? And then you would give me dirijo a usted para, or le escribo para, and tell me why you're writing. As you close it, okay, you can use atentamente, you could use un saludo cordial, or you might see that I just use saludos when I respond back to you. Okay? Okay, so in my last part, I'll go over all of the different policies.